The Once Human Prime Wars come with Phase 2, and they are a bit wild. Today, I'm going to do my best to explain what's going on here and maybe share some possible strategies that you can use. The first time I joined in the middle of it and we got wiped, and then the second time some level 50 carried us all the way through it, but I definitely learned some things from both attempts. I'm gonna break it down here as quickly as I can, as well as talk about what the rewards are. Let's go ahead and get started with talking about where the first one is. It is in the Iron River region. It's called the Winding Ridge Frontier. It's labeled as easy mode with a recommended level of 25. You're going to need staroids as a resource to activate this, and by you, I mean you or anybody else on your server. You'll then be given a small amount of time to build some defensive installations to help you defeat the invading zombies. The kicker here is that the boss has what they call silver plague protection. It's essentially just an armor. You're going to need to use Gatling cannons, plasma rounds. The easiest way to take down this armor is by using explosive rounds or fire, Molotovs, anything that explodes really. You'll see in my first attempt here, I just kind of teleported in and there were fences everywhere. I thought this was insane, but it ended up being a really good strategy because you will see that there's two epic zombies that spawn in constantly. It doesn't matter how many times you kill these things, they're going to keep spawning in, and the sheer amount of fences here was definitely slowing those down. But you'll see that we were having a really hard time taking down the armor. I had no idea what was going on. It was only a matter of time before this thing got right up to what we were supposed to be defending and took it out. The second time around is where I read that fire and explosives helped take it out, so I went back to my base, grabbed what explosives I could, and started up the next Prime War. I then just laid fences everywhere, waiting for this thing to spawn in. I don't know if it comes from the same direction every time, but both times I ran it, it came from this direction. And if it does, you can set up a really nasty trap. You'll see that I started this war here and was kind of waiting for it to spawn, and it never did, just to find out that it was already getting damaged way up on this hill. So if it does spawn on this hill every time, you can almost spawn trap it, and you'll see that's kind of what has happened on this server. There's metal foundations up here that have spawn trapped this thing. But, you know, really, as to how feasible this is not really a good example here, because everybody who was at this event got completely carried by this level 50. I don't know what was going on here. I'm assuming he had some sort of explosive ammunition because he was absolutely shredding through the shield. A lot of servers still have a couple of days until phase 2 opens up, so this at least gives you maybe something to work toward setting up, is like a lot of Molotovs and grenades, as well as the resources to build some actual defensive structures. I really like these events. I like the thought of doing this with a bunch of other people in the middle of the server. It's a giant zombie defense round, essentially. Either way, those are the two things that I wanted to focus in on for this video, was the fact that you can potentially spawn trap this thing, as well as you're going to need explosives and fire to take down the shields. When it comes to the rewards, it depends on what rating you get actually as to what rewards you end up getting. I got the lowest rating possible, me and basically everybody else here except for the one guy who carried us. And the rewards from the crate weren't terrible, but they weren't great. I'm assuming this is kind of RNG, but it was definitely a fun thing to partake in. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are enjoying Once Human so far. That's all I wanted to go over in this video. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm out.